Hey, this is Todd with Baseball Think Tank, and here we have Ben. Um, so Ben, if we just watch through a couple times full speed, some of the comments you made about using the core velocity belt, you said you definitely felt the pull generating more force. Obviously, I mean, dude, you're really throwing the ball well here. Couple of things I want to really focus on moving forward. I think one from an arm safety uh, perspective, and another one just becoming more efficient and continuing to see your velocity soar. I mean, you're a big, strong kid. You move well. You're going to generate lots of power, lots of force to the baseball. What we don't want to see is that diminish because of inefficiencies in the way the body's moving. Okay, so one thing to keep in mind is that the body's always going to crave equal and opposite. Okay, so red flag number one is noticing how high the elbow is getting right there. Okay, remember the ideal motion of the elbow of the throwing arm. Okay, the shoulder's a ball and socket. Basically you have the humeral head, or this bone right here that goes into the shoulder and attaches, and then you have this socket that it fits in. Okay, so within that socket, this ball is going to roll around. Um, what we have here by trying to crave that equal and opposite, you see this elbow getting way too high. If we just focus on the arm action itself, okay, so just focus on the arm action. In an ideal world, that elbow should never go above shoulder height, okay? Once it gets up there, yes, we're adding additional strain on the soft tissues around the shoulder. The real problem comes in when that shoulder comes slamming back in. Okay, this internal movement right there. Okay, rather than just a nice quiet roll into this external rotation position, we get this additional, for lack of a better word, the bone slamming into the soft tissues in the front of the shoulder. Okay, so over time, that's causing the shoulder to be less stable. So the humeral head is pushing against the front of the shoulder, causing a lot of ligament damage, potential tendon damage, things that you're gonna feel. You're gonna feel shoulder pain. You're gonna feel biceps pain. So remember, if this is the problem, then the cause is, if we have a problem in the upper half, the cause is probably in the lower half. And I can show you exactly where the cause initiates. If our body's craving equal and opposite, we see the front leg go there, okay, the back arm is going to want to do the same thing. So once we see the front leg there, we're going to see the back arm trying to even out the body. So equal and opposite. Where we correct that, okay, and keep in mind what we're trying to do, generate ground forces out of the ground with the back leg. So we focus on the back foot, driving the back hip towards home plate. Okay, you get a good initial movement, but right here at the top of the leg kick, all that movement towards home plate coming from the back leg stops, and now your front hip takes over. So we see this swinging around of the front hip. So there's a couple ways we want to approach fixing this. One is, think about doing jumping jacks. Okay, if you're doing jumping jacks, you're not going to stride out like that. You're going to keep your front foot facing us right now. Okay, so we want to work on just taking strides, just striding out in a straight line, keeping both feet pointing this way. Okay, we don't want that front hip taking over at that point. We want to get used to feeling this back hip pushing the entire body, pushing the the core of the body where we have the core velocity belt. We want the back hip to push. So if these are our legs, okay, we want the back hip to push us into this position without, this front hip. So basically what you're going to do is your back hip's going to stay there while your front hip goes there, okay? We want to make sure the back hip is responsible for pushing the center of the body, to create this kind of position. So if you'll watch, your back hip just kind of stays there while the front foot reaches further and further. Your back foot, you see, just kind of collapsing here, okay? It's not really pushing, it's just rolling and sitting. So it's not doing a whole lot of anything. It ends up in a decent position, but it's because the front hip has pulled it the whole way, and it's not really generating the movement itself, okay? Second thing, and probably an easier fix, something that'll feel a lot different, I want you to notice where your hands are breaking. See how your hands are coming out over the front knee, okay? Think about keeping your hands, keeping your arms inside, from your knee to your hip. Let your hands and arms stay inside that zone. Don't let your hands roll out and around. As soon as they do, look at what the posture of the body does. Okay, that throws everything forward, and then your front leg almost has to compensate to try to balance you. So again, ideally what we want to work on is feeling this back hip. Let the front foot relax at this point. Let the back hip just ride down the slope of the mound as long as it can. The front foot will eventually open up, okay? But ideally we would like to ride the front foot at about that angle, maybe even there, okay? Ride that front foot exactly in that position. Let everything come from the back hip until you get to right about here. That's where the front foot should open all at once, okay? A couple things to help that: focus on moving with the back hip, and focus on keeping the hands inside the knee. Don't let the hands go out over the knee. That'll improve your posture. That'll help make it easier to move down the mound without having to fly open, because really all you're doing is trying to maintain some type of balance and stability as you move down the mound. Your body's going to do whatever it has to do to find that. All right, so you can use the core velocity belt. One of the drills I would do is, if you're going to use the belt, is attach it behind your back to this back loop and practice striding so that your body is not opening towards us, but rather moving almost like you're moving your right hip backwards towards home plate. Anyway, I can answer any questions on that, or talk you through a little bit more if we need to, but I would work on those two things. And dude, you got great body. You're going to throw the ball well. All right, look forward to working with you. Bye.